Welcome to Repair Shop Wrecking, the race to zero, brought to you by Garrett Auto and Truck Service and Motor City Truck Collision. Today I have Lincoln Brown from LCB Auto Detailing, LLC, located in Howell, Michigan. He's a mobile detailer, does exterior, interior detailing. Also, he's my son.
Why is it important to reinvest? But if you want to touch up on it.
Yeah, let's touch up on it. What do you need to reinvest in?
I think probably the equipment is the biggest thing. I would have to say for you too, maybe. Or maybe your guys. I don't know. What is your take on it?
Well, I think training is key, and that's, I mean, you could say reinvest. You could yearly training for your guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you train your guys, usually on the job training, the way you want it done, right? Stuff gets old. Stuff wears out. Okay, your power washer might not make the pressure it made when it was brand new, and it can slow everything down because you're not washing stuff as quick.
Yeah.
You know, I think reinvesting in that. You know, I think reinvesting in your vehicle. That's
like we were talking maintenance.
Yeah, reinvest. That's a huge expense to buy another truck nowadays. I mean, a cheap truck that's going to be reliable is $35,000.
Yeah. I
mean, and not to mention, okay, so my personal opinion, and this is my opinion, and I'm sure people could say, "Oh, you're an asshole" or whatever. If I'm going to tell you I'm the best detailer around, I know what I'm doing, sign this, sign that, and I show up in a 1979 C10 that the bed's falling off it and the lights are duct tape in, and my trailer, the wheels are, different colors and there's no fenders, a big hole in it. What do you think the customer gets? What kind of feeling when you pull up?
Well, I tell my guys all the time I like to have my trailer neat. In some cases, it's not going to be neat, but I'd rather have it neat so when I open that door, the customer's like, wow, my vehicle's in good hands because this he looks professional. He knows what he's doing. Same with my truck. I need to get better at washing my truck just because I'm a detailer and it looks like a pig owns it on the outside. But, I mean, I think this year I'm going to have my guys wash it every Sunday, pay them. That way presentation is key,
Yeah, and I was going to say the electric fence guy was there, the invisible fence for the dogs.
Uh-huh.
And he had a little van. The thing was dirty, and he opened the back door.
Oh, I seen it. It was like literally he just threw everything and kept on stacking and stacking.
So I asked him, I said, "You're throwing that away?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "So is that job, like all the garbage from the jobs?" He said, "Oh, no." I said, "So are you on commission?" "Oh, yeah, I get paid by the repairs I do." So you digging through that van for the last 15 minutes looking for a piece of wire, you know how much money it cost you? He looked at me, he's like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, you're paid flat rate hour, right?" "Yeah." I said, "Whatever you make an hour, divide it by 60, and that's how much it's costing you a minute to dig through that." I said, "Probably cost you $5 or $10 to look for that." "Yeah, I don't believe in all that math stuff."
You're a dumbass.
All right, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I always tell my guys at the shop, I go, "You guys are on flat rate. You stood around. It costs you $5 to sit there and have that conversation.
Yeah.
You do that 5 times a day. That's $25.
Yeah. Exactly.
But people don't look at it that way. So
no. Another good question I have is why is it important to have a good mindset when running your own business?
Running your business is tough. I don't care who you are or what you do. Sooner or later, you're going to question yourself. You did it. I do it.
I still do it.
Right now is a terrible time of the year for us where we get slow. And I'm like, oh, my God, what's going on? The whole world's shutting down, blah, 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 blah. And, in a month or so, I'll forget that I had this conversation or this worry.
Right.
Being in business can be stressful. You know it because I watched you go through it where you're like, man, I was busy this week. Next week's not shaping up so good. I don't know what I'm doing. My ads aren't working. All of a sudden, and
that's where prepare to deliver comes in.
Yes, saving money and stuff like that. And you have to start realizing the patterns. And, one thing we didn't touch on when most business owners do their intake form, they why the hell do I give a shit when somebody's birthday is? You're not asking.
That's a demographic. You need to figure out when their birthday is so you can call them up, be like, hey, happy birthday. That way they feel more valued to you. You know?
That, and I like to use it too for, let's look at all the years or all the birthdays. Who is my main customer group?
Yeah.
Is it 40-year-olds or You know, and they say 100% of if you go to Dale Carnegie, you have to touch with something. Like if you're sitting here talking, and I'm sitting there talking, and you're wearing a Rolex watch. Oh, I like your Rolex Submariner. All of a sudden, I made a personal connection with you. It's not business. Oh yeah, my daughter got that for
Yep.
me, and da 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 da. Or soccer. Oh, your kids play soccer.
Conversation starters.
Conversation starter. So you kind of get on a personal level with people. Unfortunately, nowadays, I think it's changing because everybody hides behind the keyboard and people talk shit behind the keyboard. Can you imagine the way people talk if they were standing in front of you? They wouldn't talk like that because people are generally cowards nowadays, right?
Yep.
So they talk shit. I mean, perfect example is these groups. I belong to like the 6.2 Chevy group, the Duramax 3.0 group, the 6.6 Duramax group, all these groups, right? People are dicks.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I'm not a dick sometimes because I get in trouble in some of these groups because people ask the dumbest fucking questions you ever say.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, how do I turn on my turn signals on my new truck? And everybody's like, read the manual. Like,
Read the manual.
but that was just, you know what I mean? And I think your age group looks stuff up more than the older people.
Oh, 100%.
Like you always, I looked that up on YouTube, or I figured that out. Like I really didn't help you with most of your stuff. You figured it all out on yourself. So how important do you think social media plays a part in your business? Because I know in one of my businesses it works, the other business is just nothing but a pain in my ass.
So, social media can be used in many different ways. The biggest thing is maximizing the outreach in your leads. So, for instance, for Facebook, any person that left me a review, I would have them. I'd be like, "Hey, could you leave me a review in Brighton happenings?" Because you can always tell somebody how good you are, but when they hear it coming from another person, it sounds way better. So, I would give them a percentage off of their next service they booked with me, and they would leave me a review either on Google to help build my Google, my spot on Google when somebody searches up keywords, or I would have them, leave the review in the group, and it would generate me more leads, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, I also use Lincoln with LCB Auto Detailing. He's great." People read comments, then they call me. So I think social media, just for presence wise, like I make sure I take quality photos on social media. That way, when somebody searches me up and they click on my Instagram, they see I do good work and they have more trust and credibility.
Do you have Google listing?
Google listing, you're
Yeah,
talking?
Google, like in Maps, My Place Google. I remember you had a struggle getting that up.
I don't have that, but I contacted them. The only way I have that is if I have a sign set up. So I have to buy an A-frame and just set it up outside our garage, and then they'll put it on the map. So you have to have a sign of your business, but in Google it's listed as mobile detailing, and then it's kind of like a square of my service areas.
The reason I say that, you could upload pictures to that too.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I upload those a lot. Yeah. That, and I geotag them. You know what geotagging is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I geotag them, so it helps boost my my ranking and my SEO and stuff.
So
like
do
that.
you geotag all your competitors' addresses? That was a big thing a few years ago. You would geotag all your competitors' addresses, so when they roll up, all of a sudden, I roll up to Bob's, all of a sudden LCB pops up. I don't like Bob. LCB just popped up on my Facebook.
Yeah, it's
even
smart.
though Facebook doesn't listen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I search up a dirt bike, or when I say, "Oh yeah, Dad, I want a dirt bike for my birthday." Oh, there goes a dirt bike on Facebook popping up.
All right. Dirt bikes around me.
It's like I didn't even type in dirt bike in any of my searches. It's like, how?
Yeah, but they don't listen, right?
No.
What about learning through YouTube? I mean, there's a lot of good information on YouTube. And people say, "Oh, you're a YouTube guy?" Hell yes, we are. We find out a lot of stuff on YouTube where a guy took the time to make a video that could show you little things that can make your job easier. Why knock it?
Yeah. I don't understand. I would say try something out before. Don't judge a book by its cover. Try something out. If you don't like it, then move on. If you do like it, better for you.
Where do you see LCB detailing going now? Like, you're a senior in high school. You're done in May. Mm-hmm. Where do you see this going?
Well, I'm going to end up helping you out running your businesses. And then I think I'm just going to do it as more of like a on the weekends or the side, or I don't know yet. I kind of got to sit down and think about it. May have guys run out for me, may buy another company truck, and just have them knock out the details and make passive income for me while I work.
That's kind of cocky at 18 years old, passive income. Don't think for a minute you're going to be allowed to talk to your people when you're on the clock. So let's go back to the whole website, your process and stuff like that. I really want to drive that home for people. How do you cover your ass when you send somebody a estimate? Okay, this is what we're going to do. Do you have them sign it? Is there verbiage in there where, you're not responsible for this? Like
Both.
Okay.
There's verbiage and they have to sign something. That way it covers me and it covers my business.
Have you had problems where people didn't like the job you did and they call you up and like, hey, this looks like shit?
Yeah. So I had a guy the other day call me. He just literally wanted me to come pressure wash his semi with water to get the salt off and the dirt off. And keep in mind, he carries around boulders in his dump trailers, so he goes through mud on the daily. Well, he calls me, hey, I don't like the job you did. There's mud everywhere. So I said, well, you didn't have me use any soap. I said, all the water is gonna do is push around the mud from one end of the truck to the other end of the truck. It's not gonna clean it. You'd have to take 400 gallons of water to clean all the mud off. It's like, remember when we washed our razors? You would blow on the inside, it would shoot the mud up onto the other side. It's like,
Even if you tried to wash from the top to the bottom, it didn't work.
no, it's the soap. The soap is what helps the most.
So let's educate people on soap, because I was not, before you start detailing, I'm not going to lie, chemicals nowadays are badass. You could spray that soap you have on dirt without touching a brush to a car, and I could watch it like melt the dirt.
Yeah, so the biggest thing for detailers is the pH levels of chemicals. So the pH levels are basically how heavy the chemical is. So if you get more heavy on the pH scale, the more likely it's like acid, or I believe it's the opposite. If you get lower, it's more acidic, and if you get higher, and then if you get in the middle, it's more neutral. So yeah, the chemicals that come out nowadays are fucking wicked.
I know. I was like shocked watching it. Even like the ceramic soap. Everybody wants to use ceramic.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a big misconception for detailers. There's a difference between a ceramic spray and a ceramic coating. So the ceramic coating is meant for long duration. So you correct your car and then you apply it, and it adds like a long, there's different grades. You can buy a 1 year, you can buy a 3 year, you can buy 10 years with warranties that go on your Carfax. And it just lasts longer. Now, a ceramic spray will last you months on end if you take care of it properly. So,
Do you do ceramic coating or?
not yet. This winter, I prepared to deliver. I invested all of my money. It's expensive to do. That's why ceramic coating jobs are so expensive. It's just because the pads that you buy, they're like $15 a pad, and you go through probably 3 to 5 pads each car, only cutting. So you also have polishing you need to buy as well. Plus the ceramic coating. The ceramic coating bottle is probably like that tall, and it's worth anywhere from $100 to $300.
Wow.
So you can charge close to like $1,500 a job doing that. And it's time consuming. It takes like 10 hours to correct and fully coat a car. So,
Yeah.
Remember that one time you used that iron decon on that boat you got? That iron decon chemical, it turned it all purple. And
Yeah.
you were like, holy shit. You were like, I just took the pressure washer to it and it all came off. I'm like, that's the power of the chemicals these days.
Yeah, and the guy I bought that from, he said he scrubbed it, he did this, he did that. You could see scrub marks with SOS, and I said, hey, what is this stuff? And you're like, oh, try it. And I used the whole bottle. You're like, that was $80. I'm like,
Whatever.
shit works great.
Yeah, exactly.
It did. It melted the rust off of it for sure.
Yeah. So, one thing have you talked about rust repair at Motor City or on any of your podcast episodes?
No, rust work in our business is like rust repair is impossible. Like
Exactly.
people are like, if you cut it out and pat, no, it's going to come back. I could patch it for you. And that's exactly what it is. It's a patch. Cab corners on pickup trucks.
Yeah.
We open the door, they're always rotted out and stuff like that. I remember back in the day, you could do them for $900, $1,000. Now they're like $4,500 a side. It's like not even worth it.
Yeah, it's just
You do rail rash though.
with that iron decon chemical. Yeah.
Which most people don't. White trucks, you definitely see it
So
on.
with black trucks, I have a black Denali, obviously.
Obviously, because you're a badass.
Obviously, but I don't like the color of my truck. You can see every imperfection, every dirt speckle. It's always dirty. But now if you get a white truck, you can see all of the iron particles on the paint, which sucks. So I've told people all the time, like, if you're gonna get like my top package, which includes iron decon, get a wax as well. Get a machine wax. That way it helps protect it a little bit better. For the iron particles to stay away, because you see them really bad on Fords and in the wheel wells of the back, the back wheel wells that are metal or aluminum or whatever they make them out of. It's just terrible in there. Same with tar. Tar's a bitch. Speaking of tar, that Allied truck we did over at Motor City, I was working. Whole thing was car. It's a tar truck, right?
Yep. Oh no, they do
It's
asphalt.
asphalt.
Yeah.
So it was just spewing tar everywhere. It's on the windows, the
Asphalt.
roof.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I cannot even begin to tell you how boring and how annoying tar is. And I kept telling Jim, like, Jim, just buy a couple bottles of tar remover, please. Just buy it. And he wouldn't. I was over there scrubbing with the Scotch Brite and wax and degreaser.
Did it work?
Yeah, it came off way better than acetone, actually.
Yeah. That's some of the. Yeah, you just don't know.
Can't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, that's right. So what else you got going on over there?
We already answered my last question, was how important was social media to the younger generation?
Yeah, so I see you did some business posts and stuff like that. You do weekly posts or whatever on your YouTube, or on your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
What kind of feedback did you get?
So, like, for instance, if you just post, like, one time or two times a day on a story, it keeps your audience engaged rather than posting once a month. They aren't going to care to look at it. It keeps them engaged, So,
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. That one ad I did with them painting the truck, and I put that cap cut on there. Tell me, baby Billy.
yeah.
That one did really well. People like humorous stuff.
Humorous or informational videos are really, really good.
Yeah, I think honestly TikTok is way better than all of them. I hate to say that, it just seems to be better as far as like
Well, it's people my
interactions.
age, People my age that just scroll all day. They see a funny video, they're like, shit, I'm gonna like this. And then more videos like that pop up on your For You page. It's just all the algorithm, and TikTok has done a really good job with that.
I think Facebook is kind of going by the wayside because, like I was even telling you before, like I used to be able to put $400 or $500 in an ad and get all kinds of, it would go deep into all the different, areas around me I had picked and stuff like that, and it just my likes would go up and everything. Now
They minimize all your stuff if you don't spend more money.
Yeah,
it's like with Google ads. If you don't spend like $1,000 a month on Google ads, you're not really gonna get anything out of it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that happened to us not long ago at Motor City is one of the guys called up and talked to one of the SEO guys and started talking about ads and keywords and stuff like that. And then the guy quadrupled our ads without telling the SEO guy, we believe. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden I'm spending $7,000 a month on ads.
Yeah.
$500 every other day, and all of a sudden I'm like, what's going on with the credit card? All of a sudden it's $21,000 up. I look and it's freaking Google. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. They're slimy and sneaky. I mean, so is Facebook. I hate to say it, but they're just slimy and sneaky. You were telling me the other day that they were charging you $2. What was it?
I put a $150 ad up and they were doing $2 at a time. They would do $2 at a time. They would bill it. And then all of a sudden, the fifth day, they're like, your ad goes against our community guidelines. You already took my freaking money for 2 or 3 days, and all of a sudden, you have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Another one that I did for Honda Mini Trail, they kept rejecting. My ad went up, and they ran it for $200. Then we went to re-up it. They flagged it. They said this goes against community guidelines. You are trying to sway an election. We looked through all the pictures because it was like a scrolling ad. There was a picture on my toolbox of a Trump Pence sticker way in the back. It was all blurred out, barely could see it. I finally found it. I'm like, are you kidding me? I deleted that picture. Guess what?
Up and running?
Up and running. So anybody that tells you they're not, letting you put stuff on their platforms, which, you know what, it's their platforms. That's the way they want to be, and that's the way they want to be known for. That's fine, you know. But it's bullshit. They can't have it one way and not the other.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of where you kind of have to watch yourself on social media, what you say and stuff like that, and keep it clean and stuff like that, so you don't get, you know, blacklisted or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I'd like to see where this is going to go with you. I mean, you've worked really good. I mean, you're 17 years old and you made more money this year probably than most people work at their full-time job, and you're a full-time student. And you got to...
Sometimes just I just skip school.
Yeah, but you kind of showed me a mom the other day. Mom's like, this is bullshit. Show me your report card. You pull it out, it's all A's.
She was like, you're failing this class. I got an email. And I was like, all A's down the row. I was like, not failing.
Yeah, you're just the opposite of how I was in school. I mean, you seem to be...
Well, they've made school so simple now. Or, like, certain classes are so simple. All you do, go up, do one assignment for participation grade, and then that's it. Like, it's so simple. All you have to do is just show up.
Isn't it terrible, like, how stupid they're making kids nowadays?
Well, they're teaching kids how to work a 9 to 5 and not how to be, you know, basically free and figure out what they actually want to do. Like, I feel like they've been pushing on more, like, go to college, get a degree, and then go do this. Well, the problem with degrees is you come out, oh, yeah, I'm going to be making $150,000 a year as a starting wage as a doctor. Well, how much do you have in student loans? Well, I have $250,000. Well, you're down for the count for, what, 1 to 2 years already? So, like, plus you just spent 10 years in med school. Like,
yeah, now, on-the-job training, now, Grandpa said that he believes on-the-job training is better, and some lady's like, that's bullshit. I don't want my surgeon, what did she say? I don't want my surgeon to be, working at the bookstore than, do surgery. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about on-the-job training if you're going to be, say, a heating and cooling guy. A heating and cooling guy goes to school for 16 weeks to become a heating and cooling guy. You think he's going to be better than this guy that's been doing it for 16 to 20 weeks or whatever? Like, he's got job experience. Yeah, you could probably put some of the practical application to work, but this guy's already troubleshot it and went through it. Not to mention, most trade schools are several years behind of what's out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, you know it better than anybody when taking your tests.
Right, exactly. The state tests are a perfect example. They actually had to split the state tests up for mechanic because they were so old. Guys like me or in my 50s knew all that shit because that's what they're talking about. They're talking about carburetors when carburetors haven't even been out.
Yeah.
Since, 1986 to 87 as they changed the fuel and started doing the fuel injection.
Yeah.
So how can you expect a guy to know about carburetors when he's never worked on carburetors? Like that one, I don't see that video very more. If you try to teach a goldfish to climb a flagpole, he's going to fail every time. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what you don't know, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the problem we have. Now, I'm not saying college is bad. I think college is a scam. But if you're going to college to be a veterinarian, or you're going to go to be a doctor, or somewhere where you're going to go in, and Dave Ramsey says is you're going to go in and you're going to dig a big hole, but that degree comes with a big shovel. It's pretty easy to pay $1 million student loan off if you're making $1 million a year.
For sure.
Right.
But the thing is like when you go for like communications degree, okay, what is that going to do?
You get a job at the Verizon store probably, because that's what all these athletes are doing, communications degrees or whatever. They really have no practical application in the job place, okay? Because now, in my opinion, all these motherfuckers need to take a communications degree because nobody can talk in your age. I mean, you ever try to have a conversation for most kids in your age group or before you? They're so used to texting, they cannot even have a conversation with somebody.
I know.
They're like, you talk to them, you're like...
That's why I go to school, I just go right to my class, go right to my next class, and then I leave. I don't barely talk to anybody. I'm self-contained, always working at school, doing my own stuff. It's just...
Yeah, it's just... We have kids come into the shop that try to drop off a truck. Hey, what is it here for? I don't remember. What do you mean you don't remember? He told me, but I forgot. Bro,
I have a pad and a paper.
You're 3 doors down. What's your boss's name? Mike. You want to give Mike a call? I don't have his number. Like, how the hell did you make it to work today? I think to myself, how sometimes these people you make it to work, they're like they're clueless, and their mom and dad have never made them think.
Yeah.
How many times have I looked at you and said, I don't know, figure it out. I try to, and all the time you ask me business questions, what do I always say?
Figure it out.
Figure it out. It's not that I don't have the answer, but you're going to appreciate what you figured out, or you're going to do it wrong and be like, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of wrong shit in business, I'll tell you. Over the years, done shit, got myself in trouble, cost myself money. I still do stupid shit.
Yeah.
Knee-jerk reaction stuff. It's like, when you're talking to your guys about paying for gas, freaking Colton, when he's having to meet you at the job site.
Yeah.
But you're like, well, I kind of waited out. If I don't have them there, it's going to take me 4 times longer than having these guys, so I might as well pay them the $10 or $15 for gas. It's nothing off my plate.
As a business owner, if you're happy, you're making money, then you need to treat your guys well. Like, I take my guys out to lunch, dinner, pay for them. You have to make them enjoy working there instead of being like, oh shit, I have to go another day. Like, you gotta make it enjoyable for them. You do it all the time. It's better for you and them. They like their job more.
Well, at the end of the day, they kind of feel valued.
Yeah.
They can't work their ass off all summer with you, and you're going to McDonald's and they don't have enough money.
Yeah.
And they can't eat lunch. And you're like, hey, look at my new Rolex watch I just bought, or my Denali pickup, or they're like, look at this guy.
Yeah. I like to say if I'm eating out somewhere, then they're eating out somewhere too. Even if, they forget their wallet, it's on me. Don't worry about it.
Forget. You ever notice some people forget their wallet more than others?
Sometimes. I've been getting better at it.
I found your wallet in the door of my black truck. I opened it up, the empty wallet, a little turtle on it.
Which one?
I don't know. It was in the back seat on the left door. Looks like a Puerto Rican wallet, like John got it for you at one time or whatever. Huh. I put it on the counter. I checked it for money. There's no money or no ID. So anyway, well, it's good having you. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'll just see you at home, I guess.
Yeah, what we're going to do here. So I'd like to wrap it up. Thanks for coming on. It was kind of fun. We did a lot of babbling. I hope a lot of it makes sense to people, huh?
Yeah.
I guess the one takeaway I always tell people is, like, if you do the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same result. Sometimes you got to step out of the box. And
take the biggest risk for the highest reward.
There's something I'd like to talk about, taking that risk. Risk it for the biscuit.
If you don't... All right, so I was thinking about this in the car on the way here. If you don't take a high risk throughout any point in your business, you're going to be stuck in the same spot. For instance, I took that risk when we were up north, spending $1,300 on a coach for detailing. I was like, fuck, maybe I fucked up. I made an impulsive decision. Nope, I made my money back in one day, and I think I gained like $3,000 in 2 weeks from it, okay? So I took a high risk. I got a high reward. If you don't take no risk, you won't get nothing out of it.
I would agree with that, because I remember you came out of the cabin, and you're like...
I didn't even want to tell you.
Yeah. And what did I say to you? It's your business, your money. Figure it out. Go ahead. I don't really give a shit. And you're like, you're like green. You're like, I spent 13. I don't know. But you did make a good deal with the guy. You're like, I'm doing this for 1 month.
Yeah.
Because he tried to lock you in for 3 months.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to have walkaway power.
Yeah.
I'll do it or I won't do it. I don't really give a shit, right?
That's a very valid point throughout being in business, is if the job doesn't feel right to you, then don't do it. It's better to lose a customer rather than them coming back saying, you messed this up, I'm going to sue you, I messed that, It's just...
Yeah, and there's them customers that look for problems. It's like, you had that one guy that you went, he's like, his mom and dad own a construction company, he's going to do this, and he's going to do that.
I had another lady in Howell, she was like, yeah, you guys did a stellar job on my car, but my husband was 3 hours late to work this morning because his battery was dead. Okay, I'm not a mechanic. Hey, Alex, did you touch the overhead lamps? Hey, Colton, did you touch the overhead lamps? Nope. So I don't know how the car could be on. It's not my duty to check your battery and make sure your battery is good. I'm a detailer. I clean the inside of the car. Okay? Now, the biggest problem with batteries is the Subarus. Subaru's cars suck. When you come to detailing them, I always have problems with Subarus when detailing them when the battery goes dead. So I make sure I either have a battery charger on me in my trailer, or I make sure they sign and I put it in bold that I am not liable for your battery being dead. in the Subaru cars.
Yeah, but how long does it take to do a detail, honestly? Like an interior detail on a medium,
Like me alone,
dirty car with your guys and you?
We just did a Cadillac Escalade yesterday in Plymouth, and we knocked it out in 2 hours and 30 minutes with the 3-row stains everywhere. 2015, so keep that in mind. That says all of it, you know. So, but 2 hours and 30 minutes. Then we did a Cadillac ASV, I think it's called, or what is it called? Do you know?
I have no clue.
It's one of the sedans. But yeah, it took me an hour and 30 minutes with 3 guys, and it was
So
ferocious,
my
too.
point to you is the batteries are not going to go dead in them cars if they have a good battery.
Exactly. My monthly client, her battery went dead in her Subaru. She was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just if you could come back and charge it for me so I can get it replaced. And so I went back, charged it for her, no problem. And then she got it replaced. It's like it all comes down to people being petty and, you know.
Well, everything is since you. Since you did this, now I have this problem. We go through at the shop, you know. Since you put tires on my car, my check engine light's on.
Well, the craziest part is she said that her husband was 3 hours late to work. I'm like, okay, so your husband can't jump his battery with your car? Like, you could literally go up to the store, go up to Walmart, 10 minutes away, grab jumper cables, buy them, go back, jump your car. How is he 3 hours late to work? Plus, I texted her, I said, okay, how do you want to handle this situation? Because this was like my first time dealing with a battery going dead. She didn't even respond back. So how are you going to be mad at me and then not even give me a solution to help you out so I can make you happy? Doesn't make sense.
No, I mean, I know like you're a big Google 5-star guy. I get bad reviews, and sometimes they're not my fault. And I put I don't like say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I've never seen you in my database. I'm like, no, this is what you did, and you're full of shit. Or would you like to? Anybody who wants to see the video or the picture, whatever, you know,
And then they 9 times out of 10 don't respond back.
or they take them down. I've had several of them take them down because phone calls are recorded, and you know the iPhone too is pretty good now.
The new recording app.
The new recording app. If you like, I always tell people, hey, I'm going to record this so we don't forget anything here, and I record them, and then I put them in their customer file on that particular job. So if there's a problem, a year later, or they come back, oh, this person gave me this hard time. This, you know what I mean? We try to stay on top of that.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I mean, 9 times out of 10 nowadays, you're spending more time covering your ass and trying to keep yourself out of trouble than actually doing the work.
100%.
Then that's kind of how all these, you know, you have to have signatures on stuff, to people approving stuff, because, you know, you don't, all of a sudden people get amnesia about the conversation.
Yeah,
I
even
don't
with
remember
signatures, even with signatures, people are like, yeah, I didn't sign that. Well, you literally signed it. Your signature's on the paper. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, how?
A lot of times there are IP addresses on them on ours and all that stuff like that, so we got their IP on them. But, you know, the other thing is, too, the credit card companies, though, as long as you have a clear, concise, you haven't ran into that yet, a chargeback. They won't even call you.
A bounce check or?
No, a chargeback. You $400 on the credit card. They call Visa and go, "Yo, I don't like the job Lincoln did."
I have not.
Okay, I just did it for $5,000, and I've had several of them. And basically, what you do, as long as you have your paperwork in order, and there's nothing, no fraud or anything, you're like, I said I would do this, and I did it. They say, oh, he didn't do it, but we have pictures and everything like that. We win. Because people will do that to you.
Yeah.
Like, say the guy yesterday, he did $400 worth of stuff. He put it on his Visa. He can call Visa and goes, he did a terrible job. He ripped me off. They'll charge you back. They'll take the money out of your account, give it back to him. Then you'll have to fill it, send in all the paperwork protecting your, saying this is, here it all is. And then 6 to 8 weeks, they'll give you an answer. And they don't give you an answer. They'll say, hey, we won't call you or tell you there's what happened to this. They'll tell you, look at your bank account. If the money comes back, you won.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But they get, the guy charges, they get money, and they charge you money. So Visa gets it on both ends, but they still can't even call you back. I can tell you. So this is the end of part 2 for Repair Shop Reckoning with Lincoln Brown. Thanks for being on, Lincoln, from LCB Auto Detailing.